Hello and welcome to another Maths Cure video, and in this video we are going to be finishing off a foundation paper that we started a while ago. So this is questions 21 to 26. Right, let's get started. So question 21. So ABC, which is this line here at the top, this line, and then we've got DEF are parallel, which is shown by these little arrows. Okay. And then we've got angle B, sorry, you've got BG equals BE, which is shown by these lines. And this makes this triangle isosceles, and we'll talk about what that means in a minute. Okay, and then we've got angle DEG is 38, so this angle is 38, this angle is 65. Find the size of angle ABG, so we're looking out for this angle here. All right, let's get started. So the first step is to find this angle here, and I'll just call that angle X for now. So, the way we can work this angle out is think all of these angles together are on a straight line. So that means 38 plus 65 plus X is equal to 180. Okay. So if we rearrange that, we'll get X equals 180 take away 65 take away 38. So just do that on your calculator now. 180 take away 38 take away 65, and that gives you 77, and it's in degrees, so it's X is 77 degrees. We know that angle there. Okay, so let's just clean up the diagram we've got, and I'll write in our 77. So the next thing we need to think about is working out angle EBC. So let's just look at this one here, 77. So this angle up here, well, that is equal to, so these two angles are inside a pair of parallel lines. This is where this part becomes important. And the rule is angles inside a pair of parallel lines, they add up to 180. So 77, so I'm going to call this Y. So 77 plus Y equals 180. Okay. And that means Y equals 180 take away 77. Do that on your calculator. Okay, and you'll get Y equals 103 degrees. So we now know what that angle is. Okay. So we've got 103 here. Okay, now our next thing we need to do. So we now need to work out this angle here, because then we'll be able to take away these away from 180 to work out our remaining angle here. But how can we work out this angle? So another important rule is angles in a triangle add up to 180. So this angle here, this 65, plus whatever this is, and plus this equals 180. Well, we can actually work out this angle here. So that angle there is the exact same as our 65, as this angle here, because of this triangle's special properties. Because these two lengths are exactly the same, the two angles at the bottom are the same. And this is a special type of triangle called an isosceles triangle. Okay, if these two are both 65, so add 65 together, so 65 plus 65 is 130. Take away, so 180 take away 130 gives you 50. So that means there's 50 degrees left over here. Okay, and now for our answer. So size of angle ABG. So ABG equals 180 take away 103 and take away 50. Okay, so just do that in your calculator. So 180 take away 103 will give you 77, and then take away 50, that'll give you the answer of 27 degrees. And that is the answer to this question, 27 degrees. Okay, and now let's move on to question 22. And that was 3 marks. So obviously you could do that a lot quicker if you didn't have to explain it out loud. And it's not asking you for reasons for anything, so it's not too hard. Okay. Question 22. Here are the first 4 terms in an arithmetic sequence, 6, 10, 14, and 18. Find an expression in terms of n for the nth term of this sequence. So the nth term is a this is a special formula you can make to work out any term in this sequence. So for example, well, we can see this is going 6 to 10. This is going from 10 to 14, 14 to 18. Well, what is that increasing by every time? Well, they're actually adding 4 every time, okay? All right, so we can see that they're adding 4 every time. So we could guess what the next term is as like 22. Or we could guess what the previous term is as 2. Or if we wanted to find a term, let's say like the 1000th term, we could use our formula to find it out. So what we need to do here is write, so we look at our plus 4 here. Okay, so we can write our formula as 4 times n, okay? And this is basically the 4 times tables. So n means any term in our thing. So if number 1 is going to be 4, which is the first term in 4 times table. If it's 2, it's going to be 8, which is the second term. But that is not what this is. This is not the 4 times tables. So if we write the 4 times tables above this, 4, 8, 12, and then 16, you can see that the number below is 2 higher every time. It's plus 2. Okay, so our actual nth term is 4n plus 2. And you can try that out for any of our values here just to test it, but that is right. 4n plus 2. Okay, write down an expression in terms of n for the n plus 1 term. Okay, so that might seem a little confusing, but it's basically just telling us to slot n plus 1 to where n is in our little equation. So we've got 4 times n plus 1, and then we've got plus 2. It's just telling us, so this is basically saying, well, I said any term you have, you can put in as the n. Well, we have the n plus 1 term, so we're just going to put that into the n. So what we're going to get when we expand this bracket, we're going to get 4n plus 4. We've also got a plus 2, so we end up with 4n plus 6. It's not too difficult, but you just have to get your head around why that is. Okay. Question 23. Write 1,390,000 in standard form. So what we need to do is get it in the form where we have a number between 1 and 10, and that's times by 10 to the power of something. So we're going to get it to 1.39. That is the only thing that's between 1 and 10 that we can make out of this. 13.9, 139, or 0.139, they don't work. So this, how many times do we have to move the decimal place to get this? So we're going to have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have to move it 6 times. And because it's moving 6 times, so it's actually a big number, it's below 1, so it's going to be 6 times 10. Sorry, 1.39 times 10 to the power of 6, and it's a positive 6, okay? And for our next example, part B, 0.05 is going to be to a negative power because it's less than 1. So we've got 5, that's the only number we can make between 1 and 10. So that's times 10 to the power of what? How many times do you move the decimal place? 1, 2, 3. So it's to the negative 3 because the number is less than 1. Okay. Now we are on to question 24. Here is an empty pool in the shape of a cuboid. All right. The width of the pool is 3 meters. The length of the pool is 12 meters. The top of the pool is 2.5 meters above the base of the pool. So it's just basically telling us the dimensions. Jeb is going to put water into the pool. The level of surface of water will be 60 centimeters below the top of the pool. So we can just work it out now. So the pool is going to be 2.5 minus 6 is going to be 1.9 meters full. Okay, just that we're going to need that in a minute, I think. So just put that out now. So 60 centimeters is 0.6 meters. So then we take that away from 2.5 to get 1.9. Okay. Water flows into the pool at 400 liters per minute. 1 meter cubed equals 1,000 liters. How long will it take to fill the pool to 16 centimeters below the top of the pool? So that seems like a really long worded question, but it's not actually too difficult. So the first thing we need to do is work out the area of our pool that we're going to fill. We don't need to know the area of the whole pool because we're not filling the whole thing. So not the area, the volume. So the volume equals the width times the length times the height. So the width we've seen is 3 meters, okay? And then we've got the length is 12 meters. The height, well, some people could put 2.5 here, but we're not filling the whole thing, so it's only 1.9. So that's where many people could trip up. So if we put that in our calculator, 3 times 12 times 1.9, we will get 68.4. And what is our unit? Well, it's meters times meters times meters, which is meters cubed, okay, which is a unit for volume, which is right what we've got here, 68.4 meters cubed. That's how much we're filling. So now we need to look at our next information. So water flows into the pool at 400 liters per minute. 1 meter cubed equals 1,000 liters. Okay, so what we can now do is change our to 68.4. Okay, so that's how many meters meters cubed we've got. So if we times this by 1,000, we'll get how many liters we have, and that is so 68 times 1,000. 68.4, sorry, times 1,000 will give you 68,400 liters. Okay, our next step is to divide this by how many liters we get per minute. So we get 400. So our top value here, this is in liters. So if you're thinking about units, so we've got liters up here. Then on the bottom, we've got liters. I'm just going to write L per M. Liters per minute. So the liters on the top is going to cancel out, liters on the bottom going to cancel out. I'm going to be left with minutes. That gives us 171 minutes, and then it's asking us to give it in hours and minutes. So let's just move down now to the rest of the spot. So it's 171 min. Okay, so you should know that there's 60 minutes in an hour. So just think, well, how many hours can we make? Well, 60, 120, well, that's it. So that's 2 hours. We made 2 hours. And how many minutes do we have left over? So 171, take away 120, gives you 51 minutes. So our answer is 2 hours and 51 minutes to fill the pool how high we want to. Okay, question 5. Simultaneous equations. So we've got 3x plus 2y equals 15 and 10x minus 4y equals 2. Show clear algebra, so it's a solve, show clear algebraic working. There's 2 methods you can do here. The one I like to do is called elimination. So what we're going to do is get both equations having the same term, same value of one term. So for example, we're going to multiply this whole entire equation at the top here by 2, times it by 2. That's going to give us 6x plus 4y. I missed the plus out there, my bad. Plus 4y equals, so 15 times 2 is 30. You have to times it by everything or otherwise it doesn't work. And then with keeping the other one the same, 10x minus 4y equals 2. Okay, so what you can now see is we've got 4y and negative 4y. So if we add the equations together, we will cancel out our y's and we'll be left with 16x equals 32. And you can just do some basic algebra here, divide both sides by 16 to get x equals 2. Okay, and then we can just put that in our thing. So this is the elimination method. And the second step is grab any equation you want. So let's just grab the first one, 3x plus 2y equals 15. Then we just add our x value in and then solve for y. So it's going to be 3x, so 3x is 6 plus 2y. So 6 plus 2y equals 15. So we'll rearrange this equation to get 2y equals 9. And we divide both sides by 2 to get y equals 4.5. And that is our final answer. And you can now put both these values into both equations just to test them, to make sure they work, and they do. And that is our answer. X is 2, Y is 4.5. That's 3 marks. Okay, the final, second last question. So I said 26 questions before, there's actually 27. So 26, change the speed of 72 kilometers per hour to a speed in meters per second. So we've got 72 kilometers per hour. So km per hour. Okay, we're going to change that to meters per second. So the first step is to change this to meters per hour. So you should know how many meters are in a kilometer. So there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So what we do is times this by 1,000. So just add 3 zeros. Okay, and that will give us 72,000 meters per hour. And again, you should know how many minutes are in an hour and then seconds in a minute. So we know there's 60 minutes per hour, 60 seconds per minute, which is, if you multiply them together, you get 3,600 seconds per hour. So we divide 72,000 by 3,600. 72,000 divided by 3,600 gives you 20, and it's in meters per second. So you could write 20 meters per second. Okay, and that is a unit of speed. Okay, and that is the end of that. If you're interested how this actually works, well, we've got 72 times 1,000. So what's happening is our kilometers are getting cancelled out into changing into meters. And then what's going to happen is our hours are changing into seconds. You could do that either order. You could go from kilometers per second and then meters per second, but I just chose it that way. It doesn't make a difference. Okay, question 27. A company makes cars. In 2016, the company made 350 cars. The first 6 months of 2017, the company made 25 cars each month. So let's just work out how many cars it is. 6 times 25 is 150. Okay. And then, so it's 6 times 25. And then the last 6 months is 6 times 45, which is 270. So we're just figuring that out. Okay. Work out the percentage increase in the number of cars the company made from 2016 to 2017. So how many cars did they make overall in 2017? Well, it's 150 plus 270 is 420 cars. And in the year before, they made 350 cars. So what we're going to get is 350. Okay, sorry about that. Let me just fix something. Okay, sorry about that. So we've got our two things here. It's useful to show our working actually here. I'll do 6 times 25 and then 6 times 45, and that equals this. So you could write it down here. So we need to work out the difference. So we've got 420 take away 350, which is equal to 70 cars. So they made 70 more cars. So what we're going to do is 70 divided by the original amount, which was 350. And what does that give you? 70 divided by 350. Well, that gives you 0.2. But we have to times it by 100 to get it to a percentage, and that will give us 20% as our answer. So we multiply it by 100%, which will give you 20%. So the percentage increase is 20%. Okay, so the company's income in 2017 was $500,000 more than the company's income in 2016. The company's income in 2017 was 8% more than the company's income in 2016. So this one is actually quite simple. So work out the company's income in 2016. So they tell us that $500,000, I'm just going to leave the units for now and just work with no units. 500,000 is equal to 8%. So there are many ways you can do this, but the way I like to do is we'll first work out 1%, because you can always work out 1% by dividing it by itself. So this whole thing divided by 8, divide both sides by 8. 500,000 divided by 8 gives you 62,500. Okay, that's 1%. And then the next step you can do is multiply it by 100. Okay, so from 1%, we multiply both sides by 100 to work out 100%, which is obviously the starting amount. And that is 6250000, which is 6,250,000. Okay, so that is our answer. $6,250,000. Okay, and that is the end of this paper. I hope these videos have been useful for you. If you have any suggestions at all about what videos you want me to make, please ask in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. Please share and subscribe. Goodbye.